There we are. Hey guys.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hey. Oh, I'm still hearing it somewhere. Somebody. All right. There we are. Hey guys. Good evening. I'm hearing it in my own self. All right. Well, Cam, how are you doing today?
Good. Welcome to episode 3 of Bad News Bards. Just
Yeah.
slightly late.
Yeah. Leave it to me to screw it up. Oh man. Um, I did a thing yesterday, threw my schedule off, and thought I had everything ready to go. Any
Well,
rate.
thank you for waiting, Mr. Hunt.
Nah, no problem. I understand how these things go.
yeah, we don't apparently, or at least I don't. Any rate, Cam, we've got Mr. Mark Hunt with us today, and we're gonna talk some gangsters and maybe we'll even get into the grunts and the what is it, the gunslingers there. I went ahead and I picked up everything. I think, except for the cards. I didn't get the cards because I was like, oh, those aren't available. Those are just print on demand. They're not PDF, huh?
They're actually physical cards. You'll get them, and they're literally for the original game system.
Yeah,
They're all stats, complete cards, ready to go.
that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Um, so tell us, how did you get into well, what was your entryway into the hobby to begin with, into tabletop
Entrance way
games?
into the hobby. I was sitting at lunch. I looked over. I see the guy reading, you know, the book. I was like, "The hell was that?" I seen the artwork. Like, huh, that looks interesting. Can I look at it? Go sure. So I picked it up and flipped through. I'm like, "Oh wow, this is cool." So this is 1979. So
Yeah.
Okay.
it's not like this stuff was on everybody's shelf.
Right.
So I looked at it and I said, sure. He said, take it home and read it. Took it home, read it, came back the next day, and we attempted to make characters. So you can guess how well that went.
Yeah. What book was that specifically?
Excuse me.
What book was that specifically?
Uh, that was uh, that was the Move.
Okay. Mobile
Move.
basic. Yep.
Yeah. So we did that. We read through it again, and we finally figured it out. And then we've started playing since then, and we've recruited people and been going strong ever since.
Great.
So yeah, it was kind of like, let's figure it out. You know,
Yeah,
you
that's how
know.
it went. That's how it went in those days. You basically you either knew somebody who played and could tell you, or you just kind of struggled through it, right?
He had got the book. Someone had given him the book for his birthday. And then he didn't know nothing about it, so it was like he was trying to figure it out himself.
Hmm.
And before you know it, we were just like a couple of lost kids trying to figure out the book, and then we figured it out. We were just lucky because by the time we went back to get another set, they had chits. Back then, dice was hard to come by.
Right.
So we had literally a cup with all the little chips because we couldn't have dice. It was great because we couldn't have dice in school.
Oh,
We could
okay.
have
Yeah,
just
sure.
cardboard chips in a cup.
I was gonna say,
So
you
it
went to
worked out.
school and you where'd you go to school?
Oh, this
The
that right there was Eldorado, Eldorado School in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You went to Vegas? Okay, I lived in Vegas when I was 21. I moved out there.
Yep. It was up by on Sunrise Mountain.
Yeah. I lived in Sunrise.
Yeah, see,
So yeah,
lived
that's
there for a
pretty
couple of
funny.
years. It was fun.
Yeah. No, no. Originally, where are you from? Because
Originally, I'm from Benton Harbor, Michigan.
I know where that's at. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. My dad was a QC guy for a steel mill
Okay.
when I was little. It was quality assurance, all that guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was a metallurgist by trade, and then he wound up being a mailman. So go figure.
A better retirement plan for the mailmen, I think.
Well, yeah, especially when all the plants, all the mills were closing in the 80s. You
Yeah,
know.
it started going down. My dad
Yeah.
was a metal pattern maker, so he did that for the plants and things like that. So it was like, we moved where the workers went, you know,
Sure.
go where the
Yeah,
work's at.
yeah, and your setting, because your setting is what isn't was it Big Little City? Is that the?
Yeah, the city of Rock Junction,
Mhm.
technically, it's at where Gary, Indiana's at.
Yeah, which is
If you
about.
had to put it somewhere on the map,
Mhm.
and Lakefront City would be, of course, Chicago.
Right.
So
That's the
Gary
big
makes
city.
sense to be right. You're not in the
Oh
big
yeah,
city, but you're close enough for the action.
yeah.
Sure.
My dad was from Hobart,
Yeah,
so
okay.
if you know that area, yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I was born in Valparaiso, so.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah,
Big
yeah,
difference. Yeah.
yeah. I lived in Portage. Yeah, yeah. Yep, yep. I know that area well.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Kind of changed a lot. I mean, Gary has kind of gone weird. Of course, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson is from Gary,
Yep.
and all the Jackson family.
Mhm.
Um, but it's almost eerily kind of abandoned these days.
Yeah. Well, back then, it was a lot of steel everywhere. Steel,
Yeah,
coal, copper, everything come through there. It was ginormous, but it was a whole different. It's been 30, 40 years. It's completely different. That whole
right,
coast has changed. It's a different America. Just like from back then, it's 100 years from now. From there, it's a whole different America.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
It.
Yeah,
So it
that's
was
interesting. It's the Roaring Twenties is now literally 100 years ago. It's in my mind,
That's
it's
so
like, oh, that's
scary.
60, 70 years ago. And
right.
nope, we're at 100. So
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about it. It's like, man, geez. And what's best about it like that? It's far enough away where you can make, quote unquote, make stuff up, and it's believable enough that it could have happened, or you could just keep it purely historical. So it's
Right.
like, just like the old West, you could, jazz it up if you want.
mhm.
Well, and you got that one covered too.
Yeah. Well,
Tall
see,
Tales.
yeah, my tall tales. Well, believe it or not, that was my first test bed for if I was going to do a modern version of quote unquote BX. I
Hmm.
made that first to see if it could work out and see how accepting some of the changes I made were without committing all the way to the new system. And it went over well. I was surprised how well it worked.
Yeah, I've got QR code right now to hear your RPG drive-through store.
Okay.
Hopefully, um, some people will go ahead and check that out. Um, it
Well,
should be a listing of your stuff, so hopefully it works out.
well,
But
it's a platinum selling game, so it's not like it hasn't sold. It's done well.
right, right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, what Jeff? You want to just go have Mark, or can you just kind of run us through how you uh, got into Gangbusters and what it's all about?
Okay, Gangbusters is how I got into it. It was something different because I remember one day we were like going over to Ann Arbor. We're like, okay, let's go, we go to the big city. We're gonna go try to buy different games because we had been playing D&D and stuff, and I'd seen Gangbusters. I'm like, huh, that looks different. Guy undercover hanging out with a big old Cadillac. What's not to love? So I picked up Gangbusters, read through it, and I'm like, oh, I can do more than just be cops and robbers. I can play everything, and reporters and all different stuff. Then I started running a game, and before you know it, it was just gone. Just everyone started playing it. Before I know it, I ended up having 20, 30 people in the group playing.
Wow.
It was just extremely popular in that area.
Well,
Extremely.
can I ask what year was that you started that?
83, 84.
Okay.
And
So
I've been running ever
early,
since.
early on in your role playing career, you went right into into this from only a few years after that start in D&D.
Yeah, D&D. Then we did Champions, Call of Cthulhu. Then, mostly a lot of we did a lot of Champions, Marvel superheroes. But throughout all that, it was always Gangbusters. I always ran Gangbusters.
so that's been your core. has
That's
been
been,
the Gangbusters.
yeah, I would probably say my top 3 games of all time, always been.
Okay. Yeah, because you've also got the front on the other end. So
Mhm,
you've got the Wild West where you got the Tall Tales, the Gunslingers, as I said, and then
mhm.
you've got the Grunts there with the front. Now,
Right.
how was it different doing each of those as opposed to working on Gangbusters? What?
Okay. Well, okay. Between the two, the front is a different system mechanically. It's actually the very first, the Black Hack.
Hmm.
It's the very first hack of the Black Hack.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was the very first hack made. This was way back in G Plus days. I
Hmm.
started putting things together out on that, showing that it could be different. You could run anything based on just the basic fantasy book. So I started posting stuff, and people seeing that, and they start realizing the Black Hat could do more things.
Right.
And then
Okay.
some of that, I made the very first hack for the Black Hack. And then after that, it started getting popular. So that was interesting, spin on that. So it's like it's not BX, but it's adjacent where you could run it real slick and play it just fine. But I just wanted to do something different. So I was like, yeah, I want to make something different because everyone was doing fantasy everywhere. So I just do. I said, skirmish game, simple. World War II. That's always something to put together, like a rat patrol or anyone could come up with a skirmish. So I came up with that idea and I made the front.
Right. Right.
Now
Okay.
it's different than I came up with like Tall Tales. Tall Tales is like, the Westerns. Because
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
pure Western. There's no quote unquote magic or fantasy or anything like that. But you could because it's BX based. You literally can play any BX class. It fits perfectly in, nothing changed.
Right.
The
Right.
closest, the closest thing you would have would be the the snake oil salesman and his little elixirs that it could work or could not work.
Right.
What you could get like pugilism strength or things like that. You never know what's going to happen because not everything works.
Well, those are really just all whiskey, right?
Yeah, yeah, different forms of whiskey and opium and everything stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like first Gangbusters came out. Yes, was in '82 when they first did. Yeah, TSR originally produced it. Correct. But it was originally known as the bloody 20s was when it was first brought to them by when it was first came about, but they changed the name in marketing.
Hmm. Gangbusters would, that would imply that you're playing, federal agents or something like that typically. But I guess it's just a thematic name really for, the era.
Yeah, but you can also play. Yeah, you can play feds in this one. You can play uh, vigilantes. You can play crooks, or you can play the mobsters. All that was available in the original book.
Hmm.
So you can
Yeah,
play either side. Yeah.
You play
that's
the
that.
side.
Well, that's an issue. You said you had a large group up to 30 people, and that's the thing. Just real quick, the gaming group I played with, we had a homebrew gangster based game in which we played. We were all gang members, gang mobsters, basically.
Mhm.
The thing that we were talking about last week is the challenge of having a group, that's not all on the same side per se, right? So how did you deal? I assume in this group of 30, you had people on different sides, as it were. How did you deal with that?
Well, what I did, I was a firm believer in keeping lots of notes, and some
Hmm.
days I'd have all 30 together, and then sometimes I'd have them at different. They would play on different days. I'd have
Sure.
like 8 or 9 on this day, 10 on this one, and then when they cross paths, I would have them come and all play together. So
Okay.
during the summer, things like that, during school break, I would keep track. I would run like a week at a time. So I would say like John Smith would be at the Five and Dime at 7:30. Then of course on Wednesday, then so I knew where people were going to be. So I had to keep track of all these different things where people what happened on these days. This week, like I said, I would run like a week at a time. And okay, from the first to the 30th, I'd have 4 different play dates. People come in and run. And if they were scheduled to run against each other, I'd have them all cut together. And I'd have like 4 or 5 tables sometime, massive shootouts, prison breaks. I had all kind of events that could go on. Yeah,
That's
you could be
cool.
private eyes. All that different stuff was available in the rules.
So you
If
were able to. So did you break them apart into groups, like, and have them, you know, your
yes,
your cops and your
sometimes I
robbers, so
would.
to speak?
Yeah, sometimes I would have them different groups because the cops weren't going to be hanging out with the crooks all the time, but they would be going against them in different cases because they would be doing their thing because it's a big city. People are in
Right.
different parts of the city doing what they're going to do. As long as I kept track where people were at, days and times, if I knew they were going to be have an opportunity to run across each other, I would invite both of those groups in together,
Okay.
and I would have one on this table, one on this table, and I would go between the two tables and figure out who did what, and then I would bring the tables together when I needed them to
Cool.
interact.
So really, you're running an MMO almost.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I've never played in a game that extensive with that many players. The closest thing to what you're describing is I had a game group. It was only maybe 8 of us or something, and we had the game. It was a Star Wars based game actually, and some of us were playing light side and some of us were playing dark side, and we were separate sessions. And then the game master would kind of interpret the things between us, and we never sat at the same table together though. It was all in the dark in terms of that, but they did what happened in one game did affect the other.
Yeah, we
So
had
that's all.
a lot of people played together. It was real interesting, and we had like some reporters that would go between the two tables and stir shit up too. I mean, stuff up too. It was hilarious.
That that's another interesting, because again, this is the heyday of newspapers, right?
Yep.
That would be really fun. It's like you've got if you are playing blind, and it's like, well, they're just hearing what they're hearing. They don't know what's really going on behind the scenes at the mob boss's place or at the police station, or maybe you got informants here and there. That sounds like a blast.
It was great. It's one of the things that was really made the game, really flow well. Everyone really loved it. It's such a great game.
So you got if you got the reporters there going and mixing things up there.
So is that campaign? Is that continuing to this day for you in some form or fashion, or is that one kind of ended at some point and you've gone on to other?
Well, it kind of sort of. Rock Junction is pretty much a lot of the NPCs and things like that you wrote in the book are the results of 20 years of playing.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a lot of the opportunity and things you can do because it's set during the Prohibition era, and you only realize that's 13 years from 1920 to 1933.
Okay.
And I set it up but there's a lot of stuff that can happen. Remember, you got the Great Depression, you have the Dust Bowl, and then you have all the crime going on all at the same time. You have the trifecta of bad news.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of the mafia got their start really in that era, and they diversified.
Well, yeah, Prohibition gave them a huge
boost
benefit essentially.
Yeah.
Or they could, they had a whole new business that they could leverage.
I mean, by the time World War II comes around, they're running Vegas. They pretty much started Vegas. So
yeah, you could do Vegas, you could do runs. I mean, you could have them even go out to the Old West, and because they were still the Old West was still wild till basically World War II.
Yeah.
Like, you ever look at the Bruce Willis movie, The Last Man Standing? That's basically it's a gunslinging western, but it's all with gangsters.
So it's in the 20s and 30s, yeah, as opposed to the 40s.
Yeah, the Zeppelin job. I love that. I love to put that together. That was a lot of fun because in the Zeppelin job, newest adventure I put together, you go aboard. I'm trying to tell the story without giving it away. You go aboard a Zeppelin, and there's like a guy you can either have to protect or take out. But since you're in a hydrogen filled death trap, you don't want to start shooting in the middle of the air.
Yeah.
You got to kind of be slick about it.
I mean, we saw a Zeppelin in Indiana Jones 3, which was the last Indiana Jones movie.
Yes, he was.
um, and you know the funny thing about the Zeppelins is the reason why they used hydrogen was because although we weren't in World War II yet, we had an embargo against
Yep.
the Nazis, against the Germans. We were the biggest supplier of helium, and
Mhm.
we wouldn't sell them helium, so they used hydrogen.
Yeah.
And now everybody's afraid to use a blimp, which is funny because they're actually one of the safest methods of travel.
Yeah. And for
So
cargo also.
yeah, yeah, and they don't have a lot of limitations. So, and how long ago was that? I mean, when was the Hindenburg? That was
100 years ago.
100 years ago. Yeah, and still to this day, you can get on a cruise ship, giant cruise ship. Somehow the cruise industry managed to survive.
Yeah.
The Titanic, which was what 100 years ago or more. That was what
Yeah. Well, you got to look at a lot of.
1917, I think, or something like that. 14.
Well, look how much to this day, gangsters are still part of American society, just like cowboys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Those things that was 100 years ago, and it's still prevalent.
Yeah, I don't know if this is still today, in the internet age, but I remember, teachers when I was in grade school in the, 70s and 80s, they used to talk about how people from foreign countries, like, oh, Chicago, it's like they just still imagined it filled with gangsters with Tommy guns. I mean,
Yeah.
it was that ingrained in our culture.
And that's like one of the things like which I find really really fascinating that while fantasy is really good, that Western never really took on in the role playing community. There's not really a strong Western, which is kind of weird because when I was growing up, Westerns were everywhere. Everyone played Westerns or detectives or private eye. Those two were what they were. It was like
Mhm.
right.
everywhere.
Well, I mean,
And if I
we
say we're going to play a Western, everyone knows cops and robbers. It's real easy, to describe stuff, just like Westerns. If I get a guy who's never played any fantasy game, I don't have to describe an elf or whatever. But if I say, okay, you're going to get on your horse and describe that, out west, I don't have to, he knows what it is. It's real simple. I'm
Mhm.
surprised it hasn't really took on, which is one of the odd things I find odd. Because everyone at my age, like, you know, we watch Dallas, we watch all the old, Gunsmoke, Lone Ranger, Cisco
right.
Kid. That was just what you watch. Davy
Yeah.
Crockett, it was normal.
Yeah, you're right. Pre Star Wars, I was Lone Ranger was a huge thing for me when I was little. I used to watch it on Sunday mornings or whatever. The old repeats, and same thing, Cops and Robbers. That's what we played as little
Yeah.
kids. Fantasy wasn't even on my radar until I kind of got into D&D and The Hobbit almost at the same time.
Yeah,
Did you?
But before that, I never knew anything about it really.
Yeah. Uh,
yeah. Like I said, it's just weird. It's just you would think that would be more prevalent, which is just it's odd to me. It just sounds it's fun. It's odd, you know.
yes, Snob. There's no more Tommy guns. In fact, I think Tommy guns are pretty hard to come by unless you've got a special permit to collect
Unless you
them.
got a permit, yeah.
Last one
But
I
Yeah.
ever
a
saw there
Tommy
was
gun, long as it's set for a single action, it's gonna shoot 145 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one I saw was Geraldo in the Capone vault
God, I
fiasco.
remember that. What did
Oh
he find? A
yeah,
beer bottle?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was it.
yeah,
A broken beer bottle was the only thing he found.
yeah,
That was such a letdown. I remember the whole
that was
build up and
hilarious.
hype of that. And
yeah.
he's like, "Oh, what are we gonna find in this vault?" And oh my gosh, those were the days. Um,
Yeah.
and of course WGN, world's greatest newspaper. I remember watching WGN as a kid, and of course it really was it was the Tribune, Chicago
Oh
Tribune
yeah,
was yeah.
Chicago Tribune. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of those headlines back in the day, about the different such and such massacre, and you know, uh,
Well, that's like I tell people, like if you're like running a game or whatever, go
mhm.
down to your local newspaper and go back 100 years. At the local, go down to the library. They got microfiche of it or whatever, and look it up.
Yeah,
And if you look for stuff, just go to a front page, read on there. I guarantee you'll find something that you can run a venture off of.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
It's just that prevalent. It was that kind of stuff going on. So it's not like it's easy to find something to run something in Gangbusters. It's just simple.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you get a bunch of players, tell them they're all going to be crooks, set them out front of a bank and watch magic happen. They'll come up with something.
Yeah. And Davina brings up a good point here. Red Dead Redemption. I've played that game on the, I think it was a PlayStation 4 I had.
Hmm?
That so the Western thing does kind of.
Mark, you bring up a good point that I never thought of this before, but going back to I've played a lot of different games and such, and the strangely enough the gangster one was kind of natural. It was like we didn't have to be like, okay, well, you're in this town or what. It's like we could just run with it, because it is so
Mm-hmm.
in our own history, and I mean, our normal
Right.
experiences, and then it doesn't take a lot to put yourself in that world, because you don't. I mean, you could do world building, but it's not. Less world building is required, right? Because it's just our world from a few years in the past, a few decades, I should say, in the past, and I was surprised at how well that theme went, because I always I always thought that mundane, I'll call them mundane settings, like like the West or a gangster, kind of a reality based game is harder to do, because it's there's nothing obvious to grasp onto. But on the other hand, it's just what you said. There's a million things you can grasp onto that are just normal, and you could still have great storytelling with that in any setting, really. And so I've never played Gangbusters specifically, but that theme really, I think, does work. And well, obviously you have a great product that you can help people get into for that.
Thanks.
Do you want to so it's BX based. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, and why that was your choice and your go-to?
Well, okay. Well, it comes about in a weird, odd kind of sort of way. When I acquired Gangbusters, it was under the agreement I couldn't reprint the original.
Okay.
And when we worked out with the deal, I worked out stuff. So I couldn't just go, I'm going to remake the Gangbusters system reprint or just, redo it. So I had to come up with something different. So, and I always loved BX. So I was like, I can make this work. But I was literally stretching BX into something that had never been stretched in, even close to.
Did you have to do any changes to any of the traditional 6 stats or
No,
no?
no,
Just
I changed.
translate.
Yeah, 100% perfect translation. Only thing I changed was the saving throws.
Okay.
Other
Yeah.
than that, they're ready to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, again, having played a lot of different genres and things, that those 6 stats seem to work pretty darn well, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
They cover everything.
Well, if you look at it, there's just your strength, your dexterity, intelligence, wisdom. That's universal.
mm-hmm. That was the correct order, by the way, you just said there. I appreciate that.
Strike Dex Con.
Well, it's only been like about 50 years of playing, so it's kind of ingrained a little bit.
Yeah.
So, it's like, it's really simple that you can run it. Hit points, translate, armor class. Now, the armor class had to change.
Okay.
But if it's changed, but not really. If you look at what armor class really was supposed to stand for, it's how hard are you to hit or to be hit and score damage on.
Right.
It's not how much protection you have.
Right. It started off as the origins was a naval combat is where they pulled it from.
Yep.
I mean, I watched the DVD.
Now you seen it.
Yeah, I actually watched that on while I was cooking Thanksgiving. It came in the day before, so I managed to managed to get it. It is great. Griff Morgan did a great job on that. We had a chance to talk to him twice, actually, because, of course, he runs Arnicon as well. Speaking of cons, now, are you going to be going to any or hitting up any of the cons in the upcoming
Right.
year?
Well, I got a couple of them. I'm scheduled to go to Page 3, but we'll see. Page 3 is set up. Set
That's
up
in
to go to. I'm
Philly.
probably going to go to EggCon. I'm going
Okay.
to be.
Okay.
I'm going to be going to the con in Battle Creek, Wizard Con.
WizardCon. That's Don Samora's. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm going to try to get to North Texas.
Okay.
So
Okay.
those are at least 4, possibly 5. I'll be trying to go to this year. So I'll be a little busy.
Oh yeah. 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 Um, and you were working with Don there, weren't you? On
Yes, we're working on getting a new edition of Gangbusters out.
okay.
As this is, that'll be coming out soon. I'm waiting for him to finish up getting his website out before that'll be available. And I'm also working on something really special with one of the original writers of the Gangbusters.
Nice.
Okay. That's
From
awesome.
TSR.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's going to be, in the works. That'll be done soon. There'll probably be about 3 more, maybe 4 more books coming out this year, or coming year.
Right in the 2026.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we're, like you said, we're right at 100 years, so it's the perfect time to look back what was going on 100 years ago.
So I'm gonna try to get as much stuff out, and well, I'll get some stuff. I think, so yeah, I'll definitely get the books out. It's one way or another. I'll make it happen.
Dex's Cam's jam, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not very dexterous. I about trip over my own feet these days. My dexterity. I got a low dex there. I think I rolled a 3 on my own dex, but
Yeah. Top Secret is another good game. That's Merle's game. Yep.
okay.
Which is rare. Like this is the key is like this. There's only 2 games out of all the stuff that TSR did that's actually in the wild. Everything else is locked up, can't be touched.
Yeah. How did you go about getting the IP for this?
This is the easiest way. I asked.
Yeah.
No one had ever asked.
Well, what year did you get a hold of that?
About 2020, around there, 2019, around there, around that time.
Right before COVID, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, right before around that time. Yeah, right around because during Google Plus days, I had talked to the original writer. He had been at the talks with a couple of people doing stuff, and that deal fell apart. And I was able to show him that I was able to get things done versus just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people talk about stuff. They say they're going to do it, but there's no, no follow through.
Guilty.
I'm going to do this and I'm going to get things done, and it just fell apart.
Yeah, I know that feeling. So the IP was owned by the original writer at that point. It didn't end up in WotC's hands or anything.
It reverted back to him prior to sales.
Okay.
Oh, so he had gotten it from when it was TSR. It reverted back to him.
Right.
Never made it as part of the transition from TSR to WotC.
Right. And then what gets this is when I created my first module for TSR for the TSR version of Gangbusters, and I put it up on Drive Through RPG because it had nothing had been in print for like 30 years.
Yeah. Is that the 30-year rule or something like that? That where things revert back to their original artist or something like that?
This was before then.
Oh, okay.
This is before the rule, but what had happened, like I put it up, and then of course everyone and their brother accused me of stealing the IP and everything like that. And they called. So one guy even decided he was going to call Wizards of the Coast and say I'm violating trademark and I'm stealing everything like that. And they wanted to shut down everything. And basically, he was talking about something he knew nothing about.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
you
basically,
are
I had to prove and show everybody everything. And we
yeah.
did all that, and then they were like, oh, then I realized I kept printing stuff. That was like, I said, if you want to know something, maybe you should have came and asked me.
Instead of accusing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So long story short, he ended up looking like an idiot. And he kind of like, disappeared into the woodwork real fast. Then like right now to this day, if you go, you can check with the United States Postal Service at a trademark office and you look up Gangbusters and you'll see me as a registered trademark owner, not Wizards of the Coast or anybody else.
Right. Right.
So I'm the one who owns all the rights.
And your agreement with the original designer was what you could use the IP, you just couldn't copy his original stuff or something like that. Well,
yeah, I couldn't reprint it.
So you had
because he thought it was okay the way it was fine, which I agree, it's great. So you can change it, upgrade things like that, and since then he loved it. In fact, he was the very first person to review it.
Yeah.
Which is, if you would have thought, which is weird, because if you go and drive through, he was like one of the first ones to actually say, to review it. If I thought I was stealing his IP, why would he give it a positive review?
Right. Yeah. That doesn't usually happen.
Like,
you don't get props from somebody that you're stealing from. At least
yeah,
I can't say anybody,
like,
is giving me props. But yeah. I mean, it looks awesome. I'd love to get in a game. Are you going to be running any games, or have you done any online games or anything like that? Any?
I have from time to time. The thing is, when I run online games, they get full fast. And people if I say, okay, I got 10 spots, and before you know it, I got like 50 people asking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I know we had Glenn on last week, and of course, he's like, oh yeah, because I think he helped edit some. He was like a proofreader editor.
Because I got like 6 books in the works right now.
Okay.
So, I have to like put them all out ready to go.
Yeah. Well, this is this is kind of cool. It seems old timey, but really it's not that. I mean, that's just, I'm in my 50s. So, it's not that inconceivable to think 100 years ago as being a long time ago,
I know.
Now 200 years ago, the 1820s, maybe, which I guess, when was the Wild West? Really, that's kind of the 1820s and then the 1920s, right? The 1820s to the 1860s.
Officially, the Wild West ended in 1900. The Wild Frontier was closed in 1900.
Officially, yeah. There's still some pretty wild places out there out west too. If you drive old Route 66, I don't know if you've done that, yeah, or try to. Try to drive Route 66 without getting on I-40.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. There's some places where you don't really have a choice, but yeah. There's a lot of places that, and the thing is that killed a lot of towns too. When the interstate came through and moved on the other side of town, it was supposed to help the towns, but really it hurt them more than it helped them.
Yeah, well, because back then, a lot of times it went right through the center of most towns and everything like that, and then when they moved it over, just no traffic, no reason to stop, and it just kept on going.
And Briscoe County Jr. That's
you can run all that. I mean, it's so much stuff you could.
I think you actually named a bunch of things in the front. I know I saw where you were talking about a bunch of the different. Hogan's Heroes was in there, and some of the other TV shows.
I tried to give you.
I don't know if I saw Black Sheep Squadron in there. I love the Black Sheep Squadron.
Yeah. I love Black Sheep. That was great. That and Rat Patrol. That's another great one. You can run all that. That's the kind of small kind of unit kind of stuff you can do in the front. Run that game like that, real simple.
Yeah, episodic too. You know.
Yeah, just
That
boom,
that
run in, plug, done.
that was sorry, I just insert a little bit of my own thing here. There was do you guys remember the Memphis Belle movie from the 90s?
Yes.
Okay, so that that was basically one mission, that you saw for the whole the whole thing.
Mhm.
And some friends of mine, my gaming group at the time, they were really they really loved that movie, so they created a World War II air war campaign game around it, and played, and it was the missions were often very similar to that. It's like, okay, you're on a bombing run, are you going to survive, kind of thing, because of course a lot of those planes never came back. And it was just that style of game, and then if you did, some of these guys, they would end up on a crew again, and they would go on another mission, and it was amazing how much just like the movie, how much drama could come out of being in a box, in a tin can like that. With all the stuff going on around it. It's surprisingly interesting setting, to have in that mode. And again, just to your point, I'm sorry, I was trying to support your point, is that, yeah, you can do all of these things, with these, a system like BX, you could adapt it to all kinds of things. And I think we get in a rut, sometimes with fantasy. It's like, oh, fantasy or sci-fi. That's all they're, that's, that's
Right.
a lot anyone ever touches, even if they even get into sci-fi, at some point.
And people forget that, our hobby came out of historical wargaming. I mean, that
Yeah.
was kind of the origins of tabletop as we know it. So, in a way, it's almost going back to the roots. Now, what all do you have covered in the front, and do you have any plans in the future for additions to it?
I did I got I have a monster supplement for it.
The doc.
Yeah, the doc. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Department of Creatures, the doc.
Yeah.
That's
That was
cool.
good.
That's just like, it's just for fun stuff. I barely, when I really wrote that was just literally probably less than a week of just for something let me see if I could do it.
Right.
It literally was written just because, let me see if I could do it. So, it's fun. I might go back to it. I write some different stuff for it every now and then. But what I know I'm going to be writing more for is Tall Tales.
Okay.
I got a lot of different stuff out for that. New extra classes, new different things. And I'm thinking about doing another edition, updating it. But I love that. Tall Tales is great. It's been a good seller. It's been,
Yeah.
adventures. People love it because it's simple and different. And since it's stock Western, you can add your own flavor if you want. You want to add a shaman, just put a wizard in it. You want to add monsters, you can put dinosaurs in it. You can do all the BX stuff. You don't even modify it. It just goes right in.
Right.
Plug it in and keep going. You literally can run cowboys through a dungeon. Just as rules as written.
Yeah.
And not have a problem.
There's a lot of caves to be found everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got some right up the street from me, but
Well, and similar, you had chainmail and the fantasy section. It was just a small part of that,
Right.
which of course, kind of led into D&D. There's some controversy about that, I guess, as to how much chainmail has to do with D&D, but we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah. Tall Tales. Yeah. Davina. Yeah. It does. It looks pretty awesome. Mark plus coffee equals books. Is there a story there I need to know about?
Some days I'll sit down and just like, you know what? Let me see what I can do. I'll just all weekend long, I'll just be typing and coming up stuff.
Yeah. Oh, look, that's Kung Fu. Now that's an interesting twist. Because there was a lot of Asian influence in the later on Old West, in California, and when they were trying to build the railroads and all that, you had a lot of the explosives experts that came over from China, that were doing some amazing work back then, trying to make it possible to do a transcontinental railroad. So
Right. That's how some of the Chinatown section of Rock Junction came about because of some of the workers stayed in the area.
Have you thought about doing any ties together on that between
I
the?
Yes, I have. I have a Hong Kong supplement book for Gangbusters
Okay.
where you're going to be in Hong Kong district during the Tong War.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because during the 20s, things like that, what happened was there was a prohibition in Hong Kong during that time.
Oh
From
really?
the British was doing it
Okay.
on different goods and things like that. So, it fits. It's a lot of different. You had to change stuff like that a little bit. Then nearby was Australia. Yep.
Yeah.
They had also, which was known as Razorhurst, was a location where of course, they didn't have guns, so they fought with straight razors.
Yeah.
So so that came about there. So that worked out.
You
So
you
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 can have
think
a lot of
you
different
think
stuff you can do.
yeah, you think they would have learned by now that people are gonna find a way if it's picking up a rock and beating each other with it. But it's just I just thought that I'm like, well, you could do the connection and have a connection with on the tall tale side too,
Yes.
between the two, and um I mean, that would be kind of a neat kind of
Or
nod to one another.
there'd be a good adventure where they go out to a dude ranch out west.
Yeah, and then they fall into the the tall tales, right?
Right.
What a kind of a Rumpelstiltskin thing in the or not Rumpel, what
Well,
was it?
well,
Yeah,
out west still there were still places that were still
yeah,
the west out west really didn't change until the late 30s, early 40s.
yeah,
Because now remember the conservation society, things like that, the CCC, well
yeah,
during the change, that's when a lot of stuff were built out west.
yeah. Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
parks, the roads, the schools, all those different things didn't really change much from 1900 to 1930s.
They
It
ran
was
a lot
pretty
of
much
the
the same.
telephone wires that was run,
Yeah.
telegraph and telephone wires that were run. There's a place my wife and I stay every year when we go to Huntsville. That is it's Montesano State Park, just out. It's like literally in Huntsville. It overlooks it. Um, and that the cabins there that we stay in were built by the CCC back in the 20s. You know, and of course they've been modernized a couple of times. They just finished remodeling them last year or this year, earlier this year before we were there. But just to think of where they built this stuff and when they built it and how they built it. I mean, my gosh, and that was one of the ways of putting men and women back to work. How do you cover some of the other stuff? Are we talking a lot of NPCs in that regard for like some of the stuff that's going on, or what?
It's covered in the background and talk about a little bit NPCs. And I mentioned like I want you to look up and do some of your own research because that's part of running the game.
Yeah,
Because I could literally make a 1,000-page book on everything. But that I give you enough where you should go look and research and fill in the blanks. And that's why like I have Stop the Presses, which is a supplement just on newspapers, how to run
hmm,
newspaper people, reporters, things like that, and how to do influence. And I got another one on the cops. So that's another like 148 pages just on police officers, things like that, and to flesh out that. Then I have like the cloak vigilantes because that
right.
was also popular going into that late 30s and 40s. That moves that into there. And I also have an idea I'm going to finish up. I have for the moving also into the 80s. So you have the Miami Vice type era.
So you are going to get to you're going to take a step forward. What, 40? I guess that would be 40 years.
Yeah,
No,
about 40 years
60,
eventually.
40 to 60
Yeah,
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
cover
Toward the,
cover the
once I
60s,
get this,
70s.
I got like 6 books ahead of that, but to get out. But
Yeah.
so everything is in place. So when I do it, I don't have to reprint it because you should have enough of the other books where I can just tell you what you need to cover without
Yeah.
going in depth.
Well, you said you lived in Vegas too,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So you remember back when it was Vegas World. You remember
Oh yeah.
Vegas
I
World?
remember
Yeah.
back when, Pahrump, Searchlight, Clark County School District, all those areas were different cities.
Right. I
Not all
used to have to
built.
drive through North Las Vegas to get to work. So,
Right.
and
You
I'm
know what
like,
I'm talking.
hey, I saw that place on Cops.
Right. All that was different. All those were different cities. Now it's all grown together.
Yeah. You got Metro,
Yeah.
MP. Was it Metro
Yeah. Metro
PD?
don't play. Leave
Yeah. Oh
Metro
yeah.
alone.
No, they don't.
You don't mess with Metro.
No. Yeah. That'll especially on vacation. That'll get you a one way
You get
trip
jammed
that
up
you
quick
don't
messing
want.
with Metro.
Clark County.
Yeah, you're going real to the clink.
Yeah. There was the show. What was the show? It wasn't. Well, I mean, obviously there was Las Vegas, but Las Vegas, that was a great show. I loved that one.
Yeah, Vegas. Vegas was
Um,
the show.
but um, there was, what was the one that was set in the? I want to say it was set in the 40s. That was out there. It was pretty not too long ago, probably about 10 years ago. At any rate, it was kind of a it was kind of an interesting one. I think the guy became like the sheriff of Clark County or something like that. And of course, the whole the idea out west. Yeah, you could do a whole Vegas supplement. I mean, because that from the time when that's when the mob tried to go legit, right?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, but that was also a civilized town.
yeah,
Almost better now because nowadays everything's corporate.
right.
The corporate, it's all big business, big companies um, that own everything. But back then it was the Flamingo was built by the mob, and
Oh
all
yeah,
these different places.
oh yeah. The flamingo was it. That was one of the old ones. Yeah, the silver
Well,
slipper, the flamingo,
yeah,
the horseshoe, the
Binions,
horseshoe.
Binions horseshoe, yeah,
Yep, yeah, all those.
with $1 million in cash, yeah, you can go
Yeah,
see that.
yeah. With Dan Tanner. Yeah,
Yeah,
Vegas with Dan Tanner.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, like I said, you can do all. I mean, there's lots of supplements. There's lots of. You can literally play anywhere. I mean, just think about down in Florida. They had Cuba. They was right there. They used to have freaking
yeah.
frigates full of alcohol.
Running
Running,
rum
running,
from
yeah,
Havana to Miami,
yeah.
yeah,
They used to sit
or to
off.
the Keys,
There's one that used to sit off the coast, and they would take boats out to it and look it up and come back.
just so
Just
that
like
they
in
could go right
California.
outside the territorial waters or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
In California, there was a boat off the shore. It was a gambling for out there until it sunk. Yeah, someone that they had sunk all the gold, all the money and stuff like that. They think someone robbed it, but the boat sunk at the same time during the middle of a robbery.
Oh wow. Did they
Yeah.
cause it, or was it just
They
coincidental?
To this day, no one knows for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the robbers save anybody?
They don't. No one says anything. It was us. It was a mad panic for everyone trying to get out.
Yeah. I
So
I
that's a
was
whole
it was
book by itself.
the boats there in Indiana and Chicago. Used to have to they had to be on the water, and they used to. Well, I think they used to have to go out, didn't they? And now they stopped making them go out, and now they just let
Right.
them build on the land anyway. So
Yeah. But this,
it's the same way in Mississippi. I don't know if you've
mm,
been to Gulfport or not, but
oh, I have.
yeah, it's kind of crazy there. Um, Speaking of the South, of course, where I'm at, they like to claim a couple of things. To fame. Lately, moonshine seems to be on their thing, but they also did Jack Daniels, Tennessee
Oh
whiskey.
yeah.
So, um, what do you have any supplements that are covering some of the bootleggers and stuff like that were running yeah, I mean that's where NASCAR got its start. That's really how it started, you know.
Yeah, I have Red Ridge. Red Ridge is a supplement,
Okay.
and it's set down south, and a lot of ridge runners and things like that are in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So covered all a different area. So I just put it this way: if I had about a crew of about 5-6 people,
yeah,
I could probably put out about 10 books a year if I had enough crew
and
behind me.
In the endless supply. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got all I got 20 years of product that I've been playing and notes for,
right,
that I can convert to books.
Oh wow.
So it's like I got all this backstory and adventures that we've been doing for 20 years that I can just go to my file and says, all right, here's this, here's this, here's this, and flesh it out.
Yeah, Davina's got a great idea here. Smokey and the Bandit. Well, that was 1970. Well, what was that? 79, 70.
Yeah, 78, around there, 78, 79.
Yeah. I remember my parents. I mean, remember being so mad at them because they went out and saw Smokey and the Bandit without me.
Oh.
They we went on a date night and they went out and saw Smokey and the Bandit, and I was so mad they left me with a babysitter, and I'm like, I don't need a babysitter, I'm too old for a babysitter. Of course, you know how it is, right? 7 years old or something like that. And what, you went and saw Smokey and the Bandit? I wanted to go see that movie.
Well,
but they were running beer. That's what they were doing. That was the challenge, was running it from Texarkana to Atlanta.
Death Race 2000 and Smokey and the Bandit is why we have Car Wars.
Oh, really? Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
It's 100% it. That's what Death Race 2000. You ever seen it? Watch it. It's literally Car Wars.
What is your mustache stat?
That's for the 1980s. You can have a good mustache.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have a mustache in the 80s. I was a little young, even towards the end of high school. I didn't stop shaving, and I didn't start shaving or stop shaving in the 80s. I stopped. When did I stop shaving? Went on a trip to DC. We took the family to DC, and that's when I stopped shaving. And came back, and next thing you know, I'm like, why is my hair red on my beard? I got brown hair and a reddish beard, But yeah, so I mean, man, there's just so much you could do with all of these settings, and I think that tying some of them together would be kind of a neat thing to do.
Yeah, it's really easy to tie these together. It's so much information is out there freely available. I mean, you can play The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Done. Boardwalk Empire, Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
I mean, you could whole campaigns. All the Maltese Falcon. You can run that as a campaign.
I mean, Yellowstone. What you got?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone it was 18, and then 1865, and then you've got
the
what?
1920s one also.
And then you got I think it's 1918. Is that right? Is that the one?
Around there?
Yeah, and then of course there's there's 3 different series that are all kind of, it's centered around the same family tree, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that just tells you the popularity. I don't know if it's cyclical, maybe a little bit, with stuff going, between the Wild West or the Old West, and covering the different decades, so
I'll tell you the thing that was really the inspiration for my mob stuff, game stuff, was Miller's Crossing. If you've ever seen that movie.
Oh, okay.
That was that one hit me. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, and it was for anyone who hasn't seen it. It's basically about a right hand man for a political boss, during Prohibition, and this whole scheme that he gets wrapped into, and around that, but it's very gangster, Tommy guns and shoot 'em ups between cops and the rival gangs and everything. Very thematic for that kind of thing.
I love those. Everybody dressed sharp back then too, good or bad. They all dressed sharp.
That's why I use for armor class.
Yeah.
It fits. I mean, come on, even the garbage man would have his little tie on and a suit. I mean, have his hat on, tie, and his coveralls, and he was out there throwing trash.
Right.
The milkman looked good.
Yeah, you go to a filling station, and you got the guys come out, and they're all dressed up, and one's pumping your gas, and one's cleaning your windshield, and the other one checking your tires, airing the tires. Yeah, that was, you don't see that anymore.
No, but see, I like to use that as armor class. The sharper you are, the better off you are to hit things like that. I like to use that a lot for role playing because, especially if I make them on the run.
Yeah.
Now I can lower the armor class because now they can't be walking around in these nice 3-piece suits looking all sharp. You gotta, gotta change clothes. You gotta try to blend in. Now you got your farmer gear on and looking all scruffy. Went from armor class 2 to armor class 7. Now, okay, what are we gonna do? Gotta be careful because I can get shot real easy.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got no reason no more. I'm in trouble. So stuff you can do, especially if if they're one of my favorite things to do is to start a good game, do a prison break.
Oh yeah. Well, wasn't there the what movie was that with the guy who played Batman?
To escape
where
from
hey brother, we're out there or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They broke out of prison, and next thing you know they're we're in the classic stripes.
Yeah, that's like a whole that's a whole campaign right there if you think about it. Of course, it's the Odyssey. It's literally retelling of the Odyssey.
Right.
But if you look at it, that just shows you how much you can adapt and make things work in that era genre.
Yeah. And like Davina says, there's a lot of radio dramas, and actually there was a radio drama called Gangbusters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Extremely popular too, and there was also magazines.
It ran for a long time too. The early era of radio, and
TV show also.
And I think it wound up going from that. So kind of cyclical. I wonder if we'll see it come back. That would be kind of an interesting thing. But I really, really look forward to getting the opportunity to play one of these things, and hopefully I'll get to make it to one of these cons you're going to be at. I'd like to make it into North Texas and maybe CNY Con. I really want to go to EggCon because of Heidi. Heidi and Eric are such. You've met them, I presume.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
daughter of the legend, so to speak. But but she is such a sweetheart, and her husband Eric, they are great people. And man, that would be people are returning to radio. Well, I don't know if I told you I'm a ham radio operator, so I talk around the world to people, and it's kind of sad. You've seen a lot of the shortwave stations have been slowly shutting down, and switching over to just digital, online, streaming. But
a lot of aged out. A lot of hamsters are aging out.
Yeah. Well, I'm in my 50s. I got my license when I was 16. So
like I said, a lot of hamsters are aging out.
Yeah. But
I used to restore old classic radios, like 20s and 30s radios, and the old ones. I should do that.
But we do have more hams now than we ever have. We have about 800,000, 800-something thousand in the U.S. So
Davina mentions there about the golden era of radio. I'm a big fan of old time radio shows. Are you? What you guys enjoy that as well?
Oh yeah.
Do you ever? Well, Philip Marlowe was one of the things that obviously that's one of them. But what's the Johnny, the one with Johnny Dollar, the insurance investigator. What the heck's the name of that one? I can't believe I can't remember this. Sorry, I'll just shut up and while I look that up.
No, you're doing great, man.
Keep going, yeah.
Yeah. You got better memory than me. You could think of stuff at the top of the thing. Yeah, and to answer Davina's question, yes, I have a license. I've had a license since I was 16. I took a test. I had to take a test. My wife's got one, so it's she got hers 2 years ago in August. Was her second year of having one. So
okay.
I've threatened to play tabletop over the radio with people. You know, and in fact, I've threatened to. Speaking of EggCon and Heidi and Eric's, you know, one of the things that they produced was a module. I think it was Eric's son's called Ham Overfest. If you remember that,
Yeah.
So I've got that, and the ham radio equivalent to a con is called a Ham Fest. So I've threatened to take Ham Overfest to a Ham Fest and run a game.
Would they
Huntsville?
Would they let you do that? I know you can't do commercial stuff and everything, but it's supposed to be for private communications. I guess that would qualify, right?
Oh yeah. There's no we could play a game.
That's cool.
You know, so
and anybody could join, right?
As long as they have a license, they can get on there and they could join up.
Get me an old bolt thing radio and go for it.
Okay? You see, like you are keeping up on that. You know about the boof wings, huh? The boof wings. Yeah. No, my Yaesu. I got a Yaesu. I'm a Yaesu man. But
as they say, I know a little bit about a little bit.
I got a Yaesu that's about as old as me too, sitting on the bench. I've got my old FT 101 double E, which is a 1970s model.
Oh, nice.
And I've been trying to actually get some of the old classic ones, and like you were doing, restoring them.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, it would be great to have something like that and do like a one of the Lovecraftian type campaigns, you know, and kind of use that to help set the mood, you know, and of course all kinds of little stuff. I could get a couple little FM the little FM transmitters that low power or AM trans. You know what I'm talking about?
Right,
and just
yeah.
Do you actually have real sound coming out of them? Something like that.
Yeah.
But
you get your local.
Sorry, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, was the radio show I was thinking of. I just couldn't put it together.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one if anybody's interested.
I don't know if I ran across a bunch of them when I was looking. I was, you know, trying to look at a bunch of different things for the intro clip, and I'm like, oh, man. But it was going to take a lot of video editing to get that done. But anyway, so let me throw the you can't run a radio station.
More questions or anything like that? Because I could talk about Gangbusters forever.
Oh yeah. Anybody? Yeah, if you've got any questions in the chat, go ahead. I know Cam's got to get out of here in about 10 minutes or so. He's going to be getting out of here.
I got another show to do.
Yeah, he's booked at 11, and I do again. I apologize for being late. I was trying to get everything taken care of, and then man, I overexhausted. I did speaking of ham radio, I did an event yesterday for downtown. They did the bunch of food trucks, vendors, and whatnot for the little Christmas thing. You know, and that ended up with at the end of the night was the parade, and I was out there in the cold yesterday morning with a bunch of other guys. We were trying to help get people parked, so I got myself exhausted. Threw my whole schedule off. Davina wants to know if there's any Gangbusters novels. So you have any?
But there's 2 in the works.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
All
There's
right.
2 in the works.
Are you writing those, or you got?
I'm writing one of them.
Is Glenn writing one of the other ones?
No, he is not.
Well, you know he's a published author now.
Yes.
So
I'm well aware.
Did he tell you about him being a published author now?
Yeah.
Oh, Glenn is such a great guy.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe you can get him to write he likes them detective stories. Yeah, maybe he loves Gangbusters.
Well, I know that.
Yeah. He said, he doesn't like, he'll play in the online games, but he doesn't like running the online games, is what he said. So
Yeah.
I don't know how's your feeling. Would you rather do it in person? Is that your
I like running in person, but I'll run online. But the thing is, I try to play if I can,
yeah.
but I'm always then it's like I'm like the walking rule book. So I'm always defer. What about this, Mark? Yes. What about you're the game master? Whatever you say, go.
Yeah.
So like that, it's like I'd love to play, but I can't play. Then you know, tell you now. I'll tell you one time though was really great. I was at a convention and it was a Gangbuster game, so I was like, hey, I signed up to sit in, and no one knew who I was.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
they were trying to. It was cute, really cute, because they were trying to explain to me
How to play Gangbusters?
how to play Gangbusters and what it was all about and everything. I'm like, really? Okay, great.
How'd they do? Did you tell them at the end? By the way, you did pretty good to explain it, or
I didn't tell them at the end. Somebody else at the table rolled up and kind of ruined it for me.
oh, you could have kept that going and be like, oh,
They were like,
am I doing it right? Am I doing
no,
it
they
right?
came up. The guy came up with the book and wanted me to sign it right in the middle of the game.
What happened to their faces?
Oh, they're like, they've been playing for like an hour with me, and all of a sudden there's like three guys behind them. Sir, could you sign my book? Like, I'm looking like, great. Yeah, I'll sign it. Hang on a second.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, let me throw the QR code up here again. Davina had said, do an in-trade deal, advertise mystery magazines and Gangbuster supplements, and have. And, yeah, I think that's called quid pro quo.
Right.
That would be kind of interesting.
Like I said, I always try to get people to make more stuff for it and run it every chance they can. And hey, the more the merrier. The more people running the game at conventions and different tables, the better off everyone is, and they'll make stuff, and more people will hear about it. And it's always great because when a new group discovers it, and oh man, I know this, and then they're all off their go, and they're just having a blast, and you can tell it's always great. Like, oh, I haven't heard this since 1985. I'm like, sure, this is still a game, so they're running it.
Yeah. I went ahead and dropped a link in the chat as well, just in case they don't have a QR. They can't use their phone for the QR code. I had to copy and paste it from where you set up the QR code. So tell me what's going on with Don now. You've got the new edition coming up, right?
Right. We have a new edition, which is expanded, and a new supplement, Hustler's Guide to Rock Junction, which is about 150 pages of pure setting, stats, information on the city of Rock Junction.
Okay.
And expanded about 200 pages expanded.
Okay.
Of the new rule book. 1 second. Let me.
You got a copy of it?
Yeah, I've got a copy. I get on the shelf. 1 second.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Cam?
About Gangbusters?
Yeah. What do you think? You want to play a game?
Yes, I'll play it.
That would be kind of a fun thing to do. Yeah,
absolutely.
Maybe we should do that. We'll bring Snob in too, and maybe Davina wants to play. We could get a few of us. We'll have to do that.
Actually, the last game I actually played was Call of Cthulhu what was that, 2 years ago? I mean, I've DM'd
Yeah.
since then, but I haven't played. And it was a 20s era, thing where I played
Well,
a
yeah.
reporter.
That's I could think of Lovecraft, but I couldn't think of Cthulhu, and that's what I was trying to say. I was thinking the Cthulhu era. Okay, let me hide the QR code.
All right. This is the new book.
Okay,
Cool.
so
The
that
new
is the
Gangbusters
new cover. Yeah.
the new cover, which is and then of course the hustle. This is the printout of the Hustler's Guide. I just only have the printout because someone made me an offer I couldn't refuse on my test copy.
Yeah.
So I
I'll
had to
make you an
sell
offer
it.
you can't refuse.
It's like, I know you only have one left, but I really, really want to buy it. But I don't really want to sell it. Oh yeah, you want to sell it, and he wanted to buy it, so I sold it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it covers everything from cops, robbers, crooks, and I have it not designed where you roll up a cop
Right.
as a class. It's how you would go about doing things is your class.
Right.
Whether you're, a brute or inquisitive or things like that. And then what you do can change. Because what if you started as a cop and then you become a crooked and you lose your job and now you're a gangster? You don't get a new class. You go about doing things differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
Well, Davina says the book looks great, and right now you can't order that. Right? There was a Kickstarter. Or was there a Kickstarter backer kit or something like that for it at one point, or pre-order?
Don's putting a new website up. It should be up soon.
Okay.
As you'll be able to go there if you go to like Wizard Con, Wizard Tower Games is the publishing,
Right.
and you'll be able to go there and you can order it there.
And you can actually get. He does have in the store. He's got Rock Junction and
hardcover, I think might be still up. There's 100. I think there's like 40 hardcovers left. The rest of them are softback, but there's more coming up soon.
let's see here. And this is on Wizard Tower Games site right here. This is the Hustler's Guide to Rock Junction.
Yep, that's up right now.
So, and you said Rock Junction is which city analog is that?
Gary, Indiana is its equivalent.
Okay.
Right outside the big,
Yeah, not too, and it's not far. It's
No.
not far. I lived probably 20 minutes or so from Gary, and maybe 30 minutes from Gary, and then Gary was probably only about 40 minutes from Chicago. So,
right.
I don't.
But it's far enough away to be different.
Oh yeah, right. And you've got the beach, man.
Yeah.
Indiana has beaches. Well, I guess technically so does Chicago, kind of. There's like a little strip of beach.
Well, yeah.
We had
the Miracle Mile.
Yeah, we had the sand dunes there on the South Shore of Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
I remember climbing. You had to climb over those just to get to the water, to get to the beach. And they moved. They would move so many feet every year.
Oh
anyway.
Yeah, they definitely move. You gotta be careful.
Yeah. Any rate, Mark,
Okay.
I appreciate you coming out. Cam, you're getting ready to bail on us, so you got to go get ready for another show.
Indeed. Yeah. And yeah, again, let me thank you as well. This is interesting. I like these, non-fantasy 9 sci-fi games being out there and providing a cool alternative. Very, very cool stuff.
Well, thank you for the opportunity and give me a chance to hawk my wares, and hopefully folks will get the opportunity to play something different.
Yeah. Well,
go to drive through Now you can. This is BX version. I also have material for the original game.
Mm.
Also,
Okay. I think I ordered everything that was available on drive-through, except for the cards, because and it wasn't bad. I was like $30, I think, for everything except for the cards.
yeah, I tried to make things reasonable for everybody involved.
Yeah. What is the MSRP going to be on the print stuff from Wizard Tower? Do you because it looks like it's $34.99 for
Yeah,
Rock
this was
Junction.
that. This is $39.99 for the core book for Gangbusters, and it's $34 for the other one.
Now that's a soft cover, so it's perfect
Yeah,
bound.
soft cover, right?
Okay.
And you see, it's not. It's 3 times the size of the other book.
Right. So you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
And then Rock Junction is $35. So, all right, I will
And then
throw up.
there's also be a new one more coming. It's called The Mob versus Monsters. That adds a fantasy element to this.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna step into not necessarily Cthulhu, but
Well, no,
maybe
it's 100% not Cthulhu. No Cthulhu.
So you're not gonna lose sanity points, right?
Nope.
You're just gonna see the monster from the Black Lagoon or something like that instead, right?
Yep.
And well, I mean, you've got Doc, the Department, was it right? The Department of Creatures. So,
Yeah.
you why not have it in the 20s as well? Maybe that could be the origins for the Department of Creatures. They were
Mhm.
There's always a thread. So anyway, Mark Hunt, was great having you on there. And everybody go check out his stuff on Drive Through RPG. He is going to be at a couple of cons. Hopefully I'll get a chance to run into him. Cam, anything else you've got to say?
No, it's a fun episode. I enjoyed it, and thanks everybody for coming, watching in the chat.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Also, I wanted to mention we had Full Metal Tilt is in its last 24 hours. If anybody wants to pick that up, that's I don't know if you saw that show, Mark, but that's Travis Fauber. He's got a jousting supplement for OSR.
Oh, nice.
And it's in Kickstarter, and I think today into tomorrow is the last few hours of that. So, and of course, this guy, When the Fat Orc Sings by Glenn Hallstrom, available now in print. And I have a copy. Yes, it's real. It is pretty funny. So everybody want to check it out. And last but not least, of course, our guest here, the star of the evening, Mark Hunt. Definitely check out Gangbusters and WizardTowerGames.com. I think is where you'll be able to get his new stuff. Right, Don's going to be
That's correct.
Doing all the new printing and fulfillment, and this thing came quick. I know he's got this is on Amazon, so you might even be able to if once he goes to print with that, it might be available on Amazon too, right?
It will. He's working on that.
Yep. And Barnes and Noble, and so look forward to good things coming. Mark, it was a great pleasure. Cam,
thank you, sir.
Good having you, and everybody else. I'm sorry, my bad for being a little bit late there, but I think we got a good discussion going, and I look forward to it. Maybe Cam and I are going to do a session. Maybe we'll get you to run a session for us one of these days.
Be awesome.
All right, Mark. Take care.
All right,
Everybody else, I'm gonna go ahead and kick the closing credits, and we'll say goodnight, everybody.
Good night. Good night.